The clock is ticking on a deal to keep open a pair of Illinois nuclear plants. Even with a lot more at stake, do Illinois lawmakers have the political will to get it done? Amanda Vinicky joins us now. Amanda, what's the latest on all of this?
Brandis, months, though really years of negotiations, have led two feuding sides to reach an agreement. They've agreed that they're deadlocked. This situation is spelled out in a flurry of letters with environmental groups under the mantle of the Clean Jobs Coalition, blaming labor. A little confusing here. They operate under the umbrella group Clean Jobs Illinois. We write to regretfully inform you that negotiations between the Illinois Clean Jobs Coalition and Climate Jobs Illinois around passing a climate and equitable jobs bill in Illinois have reached an impasse. Unions likewise sending a note to the governor and to legislative leaders citing intractable differences. Because of the environmental group's failure to negotiate in good faith, we are forced to declare an impasse in negotiations. We do not relish this moment. No one wins in this scenario. That no one wins in a stalemate is another point on which the two sides can agree. The energy package at issue is massive, but it's hard. It really has a main prerogative: fighting climate change by relying more and eventually even completely on renewable and carbon-free energy. Now, to do that, to transition to that point, the state needs Exelon to keep open first a pair, but then really a trio of nuclear generators in Illinois. This, even as Exelon is threatening to shut down the Dresden reactor in November and then the Byron one as soon as next month. The AFL-CIO's Pat Devaney says is fighting to keep them open. First, of course, because there are thousands of union jobs at stake.
Number two, the impact that it would have on reliability in the state. Illinois Nuclear currently provides over 50% of the baseload used by consumers in the state. And lastly, the environmental impact and the impact on climate. If in fact that generation goes away, carbon-free generation, we're going to be firing up coal plants, importing fossil generation from out of state to replace that massive amount of electricity that those nuclear facilities provide.
But just how and really when to phase out Illinois plants that use coal and natural gas to produce energy is the main sticking point. Unions want the ability to keep plants open for what Devaney calls a rational transition period. Now, environmental groups want hard closure dates. CJI's insistence on allowing all coal and gas plants to stay open and pollute forever is something our communities and climate cannot afford or survive. The environmentalists' letter complains about labor. Now, Governor J.B. Pritzker, usually, by the way, a steadfast ally of unions, is siding with the environmentalists on this one. His office also issuing a letter essentially shaming labor. I have negotiated in good faith as pro-coal forces have shifted the goalposts throughout this process. The letter reads, if you are willing to remove the barriers to moving forward, the impasse you find yourselves at can be resolved. And yet, that impasse remains. Now, despite that standstill, there are more points on which the feuding sides agree, and namely that it is time to move on from their talks and that it is high time for the legislative leaders and the governor to take charge. Senator Bill Cunningham, a Democrat from Chicago, is one of the lead negotiators on this, and he says that if all sides focus on common ground, he is optimistic they'll reach a compromise.
There's a lot of commonality. All sides want to put us on a path of sustainable, renewable energy and want to create jobs along the way. So I think if we focused on that, we'd be able to reach some sort of compromise.
One element thought to be highly controversial, but actually they generally have an agreement on and have for months, is that Illinois will keep open those nuclear plants by putting a $700 million surcharge on ratepayers' bills over the next 5 years. Cunningham says that for the average ratepayer, that'd be tantamount to about 80 cents more on an electric bill. But he says even that has gotten more complicated since it was agreed to this spring. And that is because the prospect that the federal infrastructure bill will provide money is setting aside funding really for endangered nuclear plants.
So we have to be mindful of what's going on in Washington. We have to make sure we don't put rate makers in jeopardy and have them pick up the tab for something that Washington might pick up a month or two down the line.
Exelon, however, says that even if it does pass, that federal deal would not do what is needed to stave off the plants from closing again as soon as September. As for worries about cost, Exelon warns that not doing anything will raise electric bills for Illinoisans even higher still. By the way, of course, we are talking about nuclear energy. Not simple at all there. So Exelon says that it can't wait too long for the legislature to act. The Byron plant closing in September, barring a state deal, Exelon warns. Now, meanwhile, wind and solar jobs are at stake too. Nakia Crossley is with the solar industry, and she says that Illinois' burgeoning renewable energy industry lost 3,500 jobs and counting.
The state's funding for the solar programs completely ran out at the end of 2020. And so now larger companies are having to make really tough decisions about continuing to employ citizens of Illinois.
She says that that would go for small companies based in Illinois too. She says it would be tragic for Illinois to have come so far on the renewable energy front and to lose momentum now. She too calling on the governor and legislative leaders to take action. Brandis, back to you.
Amanda, thank you.